President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will take their oath of office later today. The 59th inauguration of a U.S. president will feature Biden's first presidential address as he starts his term aiming to unite an increasingly divided country. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the inauguration of Biden and his deputy Kamala Harris is set to be a low-key event without the big crowds of the past. Washington, D.C. is expected to become a no-go area with about 25,000 troops deployed to guard against potential violence. We are now joined by our correspondent, Kate Fisher, for more on this. A very good afternoon to you, Kate. Thank you for being with us. As a start, Kate, final preparations now, I'm assuming, as we get into those the countdown to the inauguration. Talk us through that. And also, last I checked, 12 Army National Guard officers were removed from being part of the proceedings. Is this still the number, or has that number increased? And maybe you can tell us why exactly they were removed. What were some of the reasons given for them being removed?
Yeah, that's right. It is just 12 in total, and authorities saying, look, there are 25,000 National Guard here in the capital of the US, and to only find 12 that they decided they had issues with was a pretty good ratio. Some of the reasons we've been given as to why they were removed from serving today are messages that they may have sent other people, other conversations that other people may have heard them having. We were also told that they couldn't give us exact reasons why they were removed. They also said that this isn't a signal that these 12 people had strong links with right-wing extremist groups. They just had enough in their background checks, in their messaging and social media, that gave the authorities concern about their ability to perform their duties today. And of course, those duties are to keep the building behind me secure, to ensure that the inauguration that will take place in front of it goes ahead peacefully.
Yeah, and on that, are there really real concerns at this time about whether the transfer of power in America will go without any incident? I mean, yesterday we heard who's soon to be the former president in his final address as president saying that it's not really the end of this movement that they've begun. And I kind of interpreted that as a little bit of a threat, and I wonder if that's how that's being read or being perceived, and if at this time there is sufficient, or it seems at least from the visuals I've seen, there is sufficient security to stop that from happening.
It certainly feels from where I'm standing that there is sufficient security. This is just one of the dozens of roadblocks throughout the city centre. You really can't get anywhere near the buildings like the US Capitol, like the White House, those beacons of American democracy. They're all protected, not just by armed National Guard, but by fences and razor wire. Also, the National Mall, which is traditionally where thousands of Americans would come to celebrate the inauguration of a new president, well, that is shut off as well. Again, gated off by these large, tall fences. So it really does make it very difficult for anyone to get inside and disrupt these proceedings. And it's not just the city centre as well. It's the bridges that bring people in from Virginia, the neighbouring state of Virginia. Those bridges have been closed off as well. A real sense of isolating the Capitol, where Joe Biden will take that oath of office, and it does feel like it will be very difficult for a person to infiltrate that. Of course, the security services are also looking at other possible ways that people could try to disrupt proceedings, be that using drones or perhaps planting bombs like they did during the mobbing of the Capitol 2 weeks ago. So they are looking at every possible avenue, but from where I'm standing, it feels incredibly secure. There are just so many soldiers, so many armoured vehicles, so many roadblocks. it feels as though this should be a secure event.
Okay, let's leave it there. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. I wanted to ask about whether this feels like a historic moment like we experienced at the time that Obama was being inaugurated, given that Kamala Harris is the first black female on top of it to be a vice president. But in any case, let's leave it there. We'll have further discussions later on. Thank you, Kate. All right, Kate Fisher there for us in Washington, D.C., where, of course, Joe Biden, the president-elect, and vice president-elect Kamala Harris will be inaugurated later today. You just see those visuals that we showed you. Not exactly the big crowds that we would have had it not been for COVID-19, but nonetheless, I suppose many in the United States would be celebrating this nonetheless. All right.